Since the days of our ancestors, the two great families battled, each trying to wrest control of the land from the other. But the result was always a bloody stalemate. So filled with remorse, the two warlords forged a treaty that finally brought peace to the land. For a while. No one knows from where the new darkness has come, but too quickly its dark shadow has fallen across the land. Even the great warlords stand powerless against this dark force. And its evil now rules where once great armies held sway. To have honor, they say, you must walk in the light. But in these times of great darkness, the choice for some is not so simple. For these souls, destiny has chosen a darker route, a route without honor. When the clouds of darkness threaten to engulf the land, these brave warriors will sacrifice all to rid the world of its demonic forces. For they are the warriors of the shadows. They are ninja.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Ninja Shadow of Darkness. I don't really like this game all that much, but I guess I do. Enough to do an LP of it, so... Oh boy. Well, I don't hate this game, like I said. I guess I kind of have a soft spot for it. This came out in 1998, I believe, and it's, as you saw in the beginning there, made by the same people that made Tomb Raider, which I've only played 1 and 2, about halfway through 2, and those games are pretty brutal. I've never played Final Fight or whatever the other thing, not Final Fight, that's a separate game. Let me see, Fighting Force, there we go. And Seth, don't forget to show off you own the game, but yeah, I mean, the very first thing you see on the box is actually from the creators of Tomb Raider, and even on the back it says, the creators of Tomb Raider. Like, I don't think this is a terrible game, but it did not obviously start a flagship franchise, which is probably what they were hoping for, because that was when Eidos was pretty much, you know, kind of on top of the world with the PS1 market, with the success of Tomb Raider, and eventually they, you know, find some more footing with Hitman. I think that came out in like the 2000s. I've played the first 2, but yeah. I have a long, complicated history with this game. Before we get started, I actually wanted this game so bad when I was a kid, when I played it on a demo disc. I mentioned that in my medieval playthrough. This game was on that demo, and it was the first level, halfway through it, and I begged my parents to buy it. I was like, Dad, I want to play the ninja game. I want to play Ninja. And so, oh my goodness. This shows you how old I am. I'm 29 as of recording this. We went on, I think it was called Connecting TV. It was actually an old hardware. You plug into your modem and it would connect to your TV, and you had like a little keyboard and mouse, and you basically looked at a web browser on your TV screen back in the 2000s or whenever this like came out. And my dad went on eBay, he put a bid up for this game, and then he saw, oh, it's rated T, you can't play it, you're not a teenager, you're like 2. And I said, but I want to play the ninja game! And I completely just blanked it, you know, for the rest of my life. I picked this up when I was 18. I don't remember how much I paid for this, probably 30 bucks, I want to say. This wasn't a very particularly popular game, and I don't think I ever met a single person who actually had the game. I've met more people with the physical disc than I have actually seen the game, like the demo of it, obviously. And I didn't hear much about it, and I picked it up when I was 18. I don't remember, like I said, how much I paid, probably 30 or 40. And the disc actually crashed every single time on the second internal temple level, whatever you want to call it, before you fight one of the bosses. And I just couldn't do it. So when I got into emulation, I popped the disc in, and the emulator was like, okay, cool. And it's obviously using an optic drive, not the PS2 one, which is much better. And it has no issues. So, yeah. I recently have been playing this game for about 2 weeks. I finished it 3 times. It's brutal. Hang on, let me close my phone. I was looking at waifu statues. Anyways, so this is a pretty okay game. I'm not particularly fond of beat-em-ups, to be honest with you. I've played quite a few, but I'm not really a huge fan, to be honest. Like, I'll play them in arcades. We all know the best one ever was the Die Hard arcade game. That game was the tits, as the kids say. This game is not one of those. This game is just kind of like, I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I don't like it a whole lot, but because it is such a nostalgic game to me, I do want to play it on here. I'm going to be doing level by level. My god, this game is brutal. It starts off pretty okay, and then it just kind of ramps up like halfway through like the first 4 levels and goes, alright, you know what you're doing, and then just rails you in the mouth. The last level is an absolutely unforgiving hellhole. I did actually do a test playthrough yesterday, and I also tried to record. I actually got to the very end, but I was so done by the end of it, I just didn't feel it anymore. And I'm like, alright, we'll do it again today. I had a dentist appointment, so I'm just like, yeah, I got all my shit done. I'm gonna make chili later. It's great. No dents, no dings, no damage, so my teeth are beautiful. Yeah, this game is insane. I don't know if you can get this on the PlayStation Network or not. I would imagine it's up there. But if you want to get a physical copy, I can't tell you how much it's going to be. I'll leave the link in the description for those, as always. And see if it's on PSN, just for your guys' own sake, if you really want to play this. There's really no story to this game other than that first cutscene. You play as a ninja. That's about as much story as you need. And by the way, we are running this on EPEXE. Obviously, I wouldn't be playing this on the hardware because it wouldn't actually run the disc, like, all the way through. You don't have any issues with emulation that I've noticed. I don't think I can detect anything that's different. You cannot use an analog stick on hardware. If you're doing this on native hardware, you will not be able to use your analog stick, which for 1998 was kind of bullshit, if I'm being honest, because Ape Escape was out, Metal Gear Solid was out. You know, there was a lot of stuff that had been out at this point that was compatible. If you have a certain... Because I tried playing Ape Escape ages ago, and obviously I had to set up a separate input file through EPEXE. You can look on my Ape Escape playthrough if you want the file for that. I have it in the description. I forgot that was on, because it actually enables both sticks. The game will not work on an emulator if you're using that input. You have to do default. So you can use the sticks, but it's probably the better way to play. It feels really gross without it. So, my god, let's do it. Oh boy, this game is a rectal exam. It really is. It's not the hardest game I've ever played, but it's... Let me just move the mic a bit. There we go. It is pretty brutal. I don't think I would consider it the worst, but it's bullshit hard. Oh my god. So we move around with the left stick. You can use the D-pad if you really want to. And of course, you know me. Rawr, rawr. I've done some stuff. So I've learned how to cheese this game. So right in front of us, by the way, you can see there's a sparkly. There's tons of hidden things in this game. I think Streets of Rage 2 and 1 had shit like that in it. I haven't played those in a long time. But yeah, you can see there's hidden objects. I'm gonna grab that right now before I forget about it and completely blank it. So that was a scroll I just picked up. That actually increases your magic level by 1. But we punch, we kick, we jump, we throw knives. You can walk with the right 1 button. You can wobble your arms around like that. This is essential after a while because you do not fall off edges. It's similar to how Lara controls in Tomb Raider. L1 is block. This is totally useless. You will never use this in the game. Just pretend that button's not there. I'm not going to do it, but L2 is actually the smoke bomb and R2 is the magic. If you've ever played Golden Axe, it kind of works like that. How in Golden Axe, if you have magic level, you do different magic attacks. Our meters down there, on the right, like I said, that's your magic meter. It fills up to 4. It has different attacks, and your attack strength gets bigger and better. So you can do combos. You can do square, square, square. You'll do like a 1, 2, 3 punch, and you have like a little pirouette backspin. If you hold back and punch, you'll do this back punch. This is good for some things, but it's pretty bad. You can kick. You can do a 3-kick combo. And if you're kicking and you hold back as well, you'll do this nice evade maneuver. This is actually really useful. You can also chain things together like this. You're not supposed to, because Eidos has not ever been a Starling programming company. Triangle throws knives. You can throw up to 3 at a time like this, unless they hit an object, and then you can just do that. At 4 magic, you get a 3 shot every time you do that, so it's pretty important. If you die, you actually lose magic by 1 bar, so it's very important not to die. You can pick up weapons. There's a few that are good, some are kind of shit. Yeah, the little head in the corner there is your lives. The blue thing without a smoke, with the bottle cap, or cork, sorry, that's your magic, and then the other one's your smoke bomb. So, smoke bombs are used for clearing out dudes that are surrounding you. It does do some damage and you have some iframes, but you probably want to use that pretty sparingly. You also have score. I'm not really sure what the numbers are for 1-ups, so I'm not going to try and explain it, but yeah, score does have a bit of an important thing, and the money is used for the end of some levels. You can go to a shop, and I think a lot of people get this game confused with Tenchu because they have a lot of similar features and they came out pretty much around the same time span. Tenchu is the superior game, if you're curious. I have played the first one, and I think 5 or 10 minutes of the second one. It's okay. It's a lot like Manhunt, if you've ever played Manhunt on PC or Xbox, whatever. Not really a huge fan of stealth games personally, but it's okay. But this is not a great game by any stretch. Our character has a very shapely ass. People probably complained about Lara having big old knockers, so they gave him a very well-defined ass. And when you run, he slaps it. It's so good. So, yeah. I don't even know the name of the character. I think it's Kurosawa is the name of your character. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to call him Ninja Man. When I was a kid, I thought he was Sub-Zero. So, anyways, there's lots of traps in this game. Chests, by the way, those are how you get items. So, one of the big things about this game is its bullshit difficulty. It's absolutely ungodly amounts of difficult. So chests like this can be random. There's some that are static, not all of them. But some are static with traps. The traps can kill you in seconds. They can either reduce your health bar, or you'll just flat out die. Like, some of them are just sadistic. So you want to do what I'm doing here, which is jumping away. You can see we got some money. That can sometimes be trapped. So also in this early level here, you can kill squirrels. If I can get an angle on it, it's a little hard to do. There we go, you can get points. Sometimes they can drop anything pretty much except 1-ups. Items cap out at 9, which, including your lives, by the way, which is bullshit, because this game uses continues. This game would have been cool if it was in the arcades, I'm not gonna lie. But by 1998, the arcade scene was kind of dying already. If this game came out in arcades and I could, like, say it was shorter, I'd actually say it was a pretty solid game. But, it's not that great. It looks good for its time. I appreciate it. There's also food we can pick up for health. Enemies can randomly drop food. There's also food in static chests. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Like I said, this game is not easy. So, you can do this. You'll notice that a lot of enemies have a 3-hit pattern. When they die, they'll, like, you know, go ah or whatever. They have specific noises. So the color of the enemy, it doesn't matter. They all have the same exact stats. Enemies' health only increases based on where you're at in the level. So it doesn't really matter. Now, at this point in the game, we can do that, by the way, where we stand on top of them. Sometimes they drop poison later on in the game, and that actually prevents you from attacking. So, like I said, this game is not friendly. It's very unforgiving. We can do a little bit of a cheese like this, where we can... I mean, I haven't done it properly just yet, but see, there's a trap right there. That'll actually take off like half my fucking health. Alright, so these boys right here, when they get knocked down, they have a wake-up attack. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's enough to be a bit annoying. So if you haven't noticed by now, this game is definitely in the beat-em-up genre. Like I said, not a huge beat-em-up fan. Oh, and I forgot, you can also do punches in the air and kicks. And the kick is probably a little bit more useful. You can kind of grab at dudes with it. Like, I'll show you right here, watch. Well, you know, it's not an exact science. It's not, like, perfect. Like, you have a certain frame where you can actually do it and not. But it's not a terrible game. There we go. See, like, right there, that thing could drop anything. By the way, that's a trap. So, there's just... This game's difficulty doesn't come down to combat. So how combat ends up being difficult isn't, like, the enemies themselves. There is definitely a handful of enemies in this game that are just absolutely fucking annoying. There's two in particular I can think of. There's this luchador-looking motherfucker in 2 of these levels. And there's also the demons on the last level that are just fucking awful. So enemies can also block your throwing knives. And when they do that, the knives will bounce back and hit you, so if an enemy's really up close to you, you do not want to do that. Sometimes they also can just block mid-combo. Certain points in the game, enemies will have just unbelievable aggression. Like, they'll fucking walk up to you, and the moment they see you, they'll just hit you, and you'll just take damage and die. It's absolutely just ungodly. So... this is, not an easy game, if you couldn't tell. I never finished this game, like the demo of it, as a kid. It was so fucking sadistically challenging. Some enemies also can only be killed by certain attacks. Like, there's these, like, Charlie the Crocodile-looking motherfuckers in, like, later levels, like the beach and everything. Like, they basically whiff every single time you try to kick them. Some enemies, like the samurai in the next couple levels, they actually won't let you use your... oh, shit. I meant to jump over that. That was really bad. Good thing that's guaranteed food. I'm playing kind of sloppy here, but, trust me, I'm not worried about my health yet. Not yet. By the way, these guys... sorry, these gals, sometimes they can do a wake-up attack if they have pants. Only the pants-wearing ones, because... you know, women can't wear dresses and kick people. That's just silly. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. But, yeah, trust me, this game is not playing around. I do get some frame drops here and there, but it's only when I'm recording. I didn't get any of the... oh, shit. You see, look at that. Look how much fucking damage that did to me. I'm not gonna die, if you're curious. It's pretty hard for me to get killed this early in the game. But you can see how much damage traps can do. And that is totally random, too. That can sometimes be a chest with, like, points. Sometimes it can be, like, coins. Sometimes it can just be, like, food. I don't know. It's really inconsistent with what some of the non-static chests are. I'm a little scared if you couldn't tell right now. But yeah, I do know where some food's at. I'm not worried about dying. I just don't want to do it. So, in this game, if you die, obviously that sucks, because guess what? That means you, well, you just lost your power-ups. And you only get so many per level. which, if you couldn't tell, you can basically get dead gamed. Not entirely, I mean the game is beatable without like max level magic, but it's a lot like Golden Axe, in that if you really don't want to get your ass kicked by giant enemy crabs, okay, you really do want to pick up all the goodies that you can. This game has a lot of programming quirks as well. If you jump too high, like off of things that aren't normally lethal, they'll just kill you because you hit the air, and the air is rough. So there's a 1-up right there, that's pretty good. 1-ups can also disappear. Items in general can disappear, but like, 1-ups in particular, yeah, they'll just disappear. They'll fly off the screen, you can't pick them up. So, this game's pickup system is also just brutal. I'm trying to think of other things. The boss fights aren't the worst. Some of them are pretty bad, but they're not the worst. Alright, so over here, there's a beehive, by the way. If that falls down, just, well, it's always going to. Just jump in the water. Some enemies lose aggro at a certain distance. The golden Buddha statue is a temporary invincibility. I think I can only maybe count on one hand how many are actually in the game that I've found. And these reptile-looking dudes, which when I was a kid just blew my mind. These guys are pretty annoying. They'll actually run away from you. They can throw throwing knives as well. Yeah, I pretty much am 100% familiar with this game. I was going to do the Spyro trilogy and practice this, but I'm like, nope, finish the game. Doing it right now, dude. This can sometimes be traps over here. Amazing that didn't have any traps. But obviously, as a huge fan of martial arts and Mortal Kombat as a kid, this was a fucking awesome thing. I was like, dude, look, it's Raiden! Raiden's in this game! He's got fucking lightning, he's shooting down, like... Because I did play this game on a fucking CRT TV, which was absolutely just nearly impossible to, like, see anything on half the time because of the glare. You know, this was way harder. I mean, I only played the demo of this game, dude. I can't even imagine. You know, I was saying at work the other day, I was talking about this, and, like, with a coworker, and I was like, you know, I'm kind of happy my dad didn't buy this game for me, because I think this would have just made me absolutely fucking hate video games, because this is a brutal game. So this is a sword. This is probably the second worst weapon in the game. The regular sword, I don't know what the real differences are. It doesn't do as much damage as other weapons, but it has a better arc. So the other main problem with it is you see that every second hit we do with it consecutively, it causes me to do this little fucking pirouette. And the distance doesn't let me get in with my kicks, so... Because you can chain kicks and shit, like, into things, so it's really useful. See, like, if I wasn't using the sword and just using my hand, I could actually kill that dude, probably, but because the sword isn't very good, I'm not a huge fan of it. So, best weapons in the game, probably the big axe, as it's called. The sword has just got good reach. I mean, the axe has the same reach, but the worst weapon in the game is the sai. I mean, my god, it is just absolutely horrible. I forgot a pickup, I just realized back here. It's 50 gold in this. You see, this is also... Maybe I already picked it up. I don't remember. I've played this game so much this past few weeks, I just don't, like, care. Yeah, I must have picked it up already. It's just brutal. It is an absolutely sadistic game the first time you play it. You will get killed every single level. I got a game over, I think, every single level the first time learning this game. Oh, shit! I did not mean to do that. I'm really scrubbing it up here, but trust me, I'd say the first level is probably one of the hardest ones, not even close to the hardest. By the way, this is a... Yay! We get smoke bomb instead of magic. That's not really that great. So, if you couldn't tell, we're not going to use our magic on pretty much anything, like standard. That's just for the big boys. We don't need a... I will say I'm going to use smoke bombs sparingly, because smoke bombs, they're not bad. Like, if you're getting your ass kicked and you know you're going to get killed or something and you know where something's at, it's pretty good, but I don't really use it in combat except on very specific portions. So, alright, by the way... Ugh. The jumping in this game is pretty okay. I don't think it's that... That's fine. Well, it's not, but whatever. I'm not going to try to save state as much as I can, but it's not really an easy game. That's all I can tell you. Is everything in this game, if it looks easy, I guarantee you play it for 5 minutes and you'll go, okay, I understand exactly what you mean now. So, thankfully keys don't disappear, but like coins and shit that you kill enemies with and, or sorry, from, yeah, that disappears after a few seconds, so you gotta kind of be on the ball. The keys, if you haven't noticed by now, you have to kill every single enemy. You cannot ignore anything in this game. If you ignore enemies, either you won't progress or that you'll just not have as much of an advantage. So part of the thing in this game is just learning it. And I think that, yeah, it's cool that like, oh yeah, you have to learn how to get good at it, but it's really an unfriendly game. So it's not as fun as you'd think it would be. Oh, damn it. So these guys, by the way, you can see they throw knives at a distance. I'm a little salty about dying that early, but believe me, it's fine. I'm not really that bothered by it. The hardest shit in the game, ow, that was my elbow, is just this. Like, there's a lot of one-off stuff in the game that you will never predict the first time you play it. And you can be like, oh, it's like in the Dark Souls. No. Not even. Like, Dark Souls is actually a very fucking balanced series, except for bits of 3. I say that with, like, 100% confidence, by the way. So this is our first boss. But this game, not really balanced. You can't fool me, that's the T-Rex noise from Tomb Raider 1. Anyways, since I don't have as much magic as I normally should at this point in the game, I'm okay with doing it. I'm not really worried about it. I mean, the boss fights in this game, some of them are actually okay, like, to do without magic, but if you have the magic power, just use it on them. It's absolutely in your best interest. You will get your ass kicked learning these bosses, too, the first time they... Oh, that person with their shitty beater car, man. It's really getting on my nerves. They've been around the area, and I'm just getting tired of them. They're not doing anything, but their car is just fucking loud. Anyways, so... yeah, the boss fights, just save your magic for them. Like I said, if you play Golden Axe, you kind of already understand the, like, mechanics of this. I much prefer Golden Axe over Streets of Rage. I know that's controversial. Even though I think they were made by some of the same people, I prefer one over the other. So, this is the shop. I hope you were paying attention to that CGI, by the way, because that guy looks nothing like the dude in the picture we just saw. So since I don't actually have a magic bar because I died, I'm gonna buy that, and the other thing is just food, over there with the mystery item. Those are always static, by the way, those never change. So, to save the game, you gotta go to a shop. So, that's one mechanic I kinda like about it, but it's also kind of a problem. Since it is an arcadey game, it kinda gets a little bit of a free pass, though. Not much, but it does get one, and my god, look at that abomination. Good lord. This game's CGI is not that good. I know it's 1998, and it wasn't a perfected science yet, but it's pretty rough. So, I'm gonna call it here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.